We are joined now. This guy was at the start of the wave. As the momentum generated and that wave got a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger and eventually swallowed up the entire NFL, he was on the surfboard. He had a prominent spot. He was really good. Troy Brown, three-time Super Bowl champ with the Pats, the early days, an analyst for CSN New England. Troy, Tiki, and Tierney, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How you guys?
We're doing well. We were trying to remember the exact circumstances because you obviously did so much, returning punts and as a receiver and playing a little defense as well. What were these? Did you play? Tiki thought you may have played nickel. Did you actually jump in the nickel slot?
Yeah, I was playing the nickel spot on the defense in '04, a little bit in the '05 season. Had a few injuries, Asante Samuel Tylaw went on injured reserve.
Yeah.
So we were kind of in a spot where, they had actually put me out there during training camp to get some reps, played a few preseason games doing the nickel spot. And, so I think it was just mostly done just to, kind of have somebody on the roster that could come in and do a halfway decent job and not knowing I was going to go out there and finish the rest of the season and the playoffs playing the nickel spot, so against some pretty good guys. So
you did it all.
It worked out good for us as a team, man.
It did.
So,
It did. You
yeah.
did that. You had the big punt return Steelers AFC title game. And it's amazing, too, because I think, and I said this to Tiki, I look at you as a great illumination of the stated mission of Bill Belichick. Because you were willing to take a chance. Let's face it, Troy, you could have been thoroughly embarrassed. I mean, the slot had nowhere to hide, man. But you, for the team, you did it.
Listen, I was thoroughly embarrassed in training camp, but that was a good place to be embarrassed. I mean, we had, 5,000, 7,000 people, watching our practices back then. So
but you didn't have 7,000
defense in. I played a little bit, my senior year at Marshall, but other than that, I hadn't even backpedaled. I tried to jam anybody in a decade. So
wow.
So it was. It was embarrassing. I tell everybody all the time we had like 10 receivers and 5 tight ends, and whatever it was we had, I got beat by every one of them. So
yeah, but
it was pretty bad.
But when it mattered, you came through. I mean, what was that conversation like? Because I think it illuminates the conversations that Coach Belichick or whoever had the conversation with you. It's the expectation that they have of players. It really is the more you can do.
Yeah, and it wasn't a whole lot of conversation because I didn't talk a whole lot.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like Eric Mangini comes in and he walks over to my locker, and like Ty and I would always go back and forth about I could play DB, he could play receiver, which one's easier, whatever it is. And so he comes over and hands me this script, and said, know these defenses for practice today. That part was easy because I'm always listening and eavesdropping, what they're doing and, getting all the coverages and how they want to, so knowing where to lined up was, probably the easiest part of it. But, at that point, when he said that to me, I'm thinking like, maybe he's joking right now. And then he had this look on his face like he was serious. So, and just me being me, it was like, all right, coach, I come out there and, I give it my best shot. So that's kind of how it went, man. That was the end of the conversation, But that first day was so bad, Charlie Weiss, who was the offensive coordinator at the time, was kind of ticked off about me going over there and taking time off of my offense to go play defense. He was kind of ticked off about it, but
did he challenge Bill?
He said,
was he ticked off? Did he challenge Bill? Did he challenge him on that?
Did Charlie challenge him?
Yeah, if he was that ticked off, did he say anything?
He didn't really challenge Bill on it. He just waited till after practice was over.
Oh, gotcha.
He saw what a disaster.
Gotcha.
He saw what a disaster it was, and he made the comment to me like that experiment's over. So
I gotcha.
I hope to see you in the offensive meeting.
Nice.
So,
that's where we need you.
Yeah. So it wasn't really a challenge on that, man. So it was just. But to Bill's credit, man, he told me to go back out there the next day. He told me to come over to the defensive meetings and get all the stuff and start sitting in and watch film and. It was kind of like riding the bike for me. I had to knock off some of the rust and get back on it, man. So, the guys were real supportive, and so it worked out good for us, man. It just helped that I had a great attitude about it, and wasn't really, ticked off about losing time on offense and losing playing time on offense. So it worked out great for us in the end.
Nice. Talking to Troy Brown, of course, three-time Super Bowl champ with the Pats, the early start of the dynasty, the early days, planting those seeds.
Yeah, now you were early with Tom Brady as he was making this ascension to the best quarterback in the history of the game. But you know it because you're in a role that a lot of these other guys have found themselves in, whether it's Wes Welker, whether it's now Hogan, it's Amendola. I mean, it's like all these guys who you look at and you're like, that guy's not an elite wide receiver. But then you go out and you have these elite games. How is that a testament to the scheme? Is it Brady? How do you consistently, meaning how do the Patriots consistently do this where other teams can't find it?
Well, I think one of the biggest things people overlook is that these guys are really talented, and people they overlook that part of it. They may not do certain things like Julio Jones do well, or Antonio Brown may do really well, but they do a lot of things really well. They have a unique skill set, and the thing is that just look at the many different schemes. People say it's the scheme, it's this and that. They don't really have one particular scheme. They got 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So, and they're willing to attack whatever your defense is given to them, and that's the unique part about it. The guys are able to retain a lot of knowledge, and able to change up their game on the fly, and make plays that way, so you can, there's not a team in the league that doesn't have a scheme.
Yeah.
So that's no excuse to say, those guys they're being successful because of the scheme and because of Tom or because of Bill. Yeah, it's not their fault they have a good coach.
Yeah.
It's not their fault they have a good quarterback. But when I walk into that meeting room, and the sign has been there for years since I've been there, and we put up there, you got 2 jobs as a wide receiver, and that's to get open and catch the ball. So, and that has nothing to do with coaching, nothing to do with Tom Brady being the quarterback.
Yeah, but
if you're not getting open, he's not throwing you the ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. He's smart. He's smart like that. He's not throwing ill-advised passes.
Exactly.
But do you think this is also it's a personnel thing, like the makeup of the guys that are brought to New England? You're obviously one of those. Yeah. David Patton was another. You remember him?
Yeah.
Edelman, and all those other guys. There's an intelligence, right? There's something above the X's and O's, bigger than football IQ even, that allows you, hey, Troy, go play defense in the slot, and you can go do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something that's easy to do.
Yeah, he's tapped into a certain type of guy that he wants on his football team. And you look at the whole list of guys that have come through there, and a lot of us are pretty similar in personalities. A lot of us is pretty similar with our stories. All guys that have chips on their shoulders, overlooked for whatever reason, too short, too slow, went to a small school, whatever it may be, been hurt a few times. So everybody's got a chip on their shoulder about something, but we all had the same type of personality too, somewhat. Easygoing, mild-mannered, do anything to win, whatever they ask you to do. And I think it comes down to he's tapped into that part of it, and he realizes that, you guys got a skill set, and I can't really teach a guy to get open. I can't teach a guy to catch the ball. I can't teach a guy this and that. But I know these guys are going to go out there and they're going to play hard. They're going to know what to do. They're going to be able to adjust on the fly. They're going to say, Coach, put me here. I think I can help or whatever. They're going to say, if I ask them to do this, they're going to say, Coach, I got it. You know what I'm saying? And when I went and played defense, I tell you, Bill left me alone. He didn't really overcoach me. Now, I would cut my lunch short to go watch film with him, so things like that. But, like, on the field, he really didn't bother me a whole lot unless I had a question about something. So, but nobody took me over and backpedaled with me. Nobody took me over and taught me how to break on the ball. It was just that he let my natural ability, just do what it does. And I was a punt returner, and he knew I had a pretty good skill set. He knew my personality, and he knew that I was going to go out there and do everything I could to win. So, and I think he's tapped into that with a lot of these guys that, he don't get a lot of pushback from it. The guys actually embrace that type of attitude because they don't get mixed up in a lot of the things that most of the teams get mixed up in. Everybody doing self-promotion type stuff, and all that, which I'm all for that stuff, but guys don't really get caught up in that, man. They know they're there for a reason. That's to win football games. And when the off-season comes around, I can do all the promoting and marketing I need to do for myself, but when we come through those doors, it's about the New England Patriots, and everybody's embraced that person and embraced that type of approach to the game. And even the guys that come in who have been other places and don't really have that, he's not going to fit in there, he's not going to fit in there. But when they walk through those doors, I don't know if it's an intimidation factor or just when they walk through there and they see just how much all those guys in the locker room are on the same page, they just kind of fall in line and do the same thing, and it works out for everybody. Corey Dillon's been through that. Randy Moss has been through that. We've had a couple that come in and didn't really get in, line with it, and they kind of saw the door.
Yeah, they were right out. Chad
Reggie Wayne said, "Get me out of here after 5 minutes."
Ocho Cinco was the
People
same
forget.
way.
Reggie Wayne was in camp for a minute. So, oh, man, the tales are amazing. It's good to hear the origin of them. It's an incredible I don't know how you replicate this in the future. The quarterback, the coach, the ownership, the fan base. I mean, it's incredible with free agency. What they've done has been amazing, and you were obviously a huge part of it.